Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia Chapter 231. And I'm a little sorry if this review is late, guys. It's been a bit of a busy day today. I've been out all day. I pretty much I basically just bought I basically bought just kind of a late birthday present for myself. So which was a PS4, but yeah. Um, but yeah. So yeah, sorry this one's late. But anyway. Yeah, this is the review of My Hero Academia, Chapter 231. So, to start off, the chapter starts off by actually showing us a little bit of what's going on with the hero side of things, specifically with Hawks, and yeah, we get a very gruesome implication that he killed Best Genius, and what I like about the aftermath of this is that, from Hawk's perspective, it shows that just how much the Liberation Army's interference in the League's business has affected their pretty much overall plans and how they had to put an immediate halt on everything they were doing. Although at the same time, it does make me curious now how killing Best Genius was supposed to work in the grand scheme of their plan. Um, of whatever plan they had, because if I've if I'm under, because the only thing I can kind of glean from basically what killing Best Genius is supposed to do is that the League's plan has to do with targeting the most well-known heroes, both former and current, and just picking up them off, and probably starting with those with the heroes that are at the current top five as just a shot in the dark. And in a way, if that, I'm kind of putting chips on that being the case, that at least part of their plan is to target like the most well known heroes in this society, because only because with it's a thing where the most well known hero, or killing the most well known heroes, is going to have the biggest impact on the media and whatnot. So and so by doing that, it'll basically allow the League of Villains in order to control a lot of the narrative of whatever their plan of basically of pretty much how they're going to address how they're going to go forward in society, and but how they're going to go forward with their plans, and how it will affect society in the future. Because yeah, with this because yeah, I think yeah, I think, and so right now, like I think killing Best Genius, it was part of a larger warning shot almost, and after and once they've fired off that warning shot completely, it's gonna that's pretty much when the League of Villains are gonna strike at society itself. Um, but. But of course, again, all that had to be halted because of the Liberation Army. Um, Now, one thing I found really intriguing about this chapter is Shigaraki's development, and how, ironically, being surrounded by all this chaos and actually cleared his mind and allowed him to start to appreciate the people who followed him as the leader of the League of Villains up to this point, and like the support that they give him and whatnot. And because of that, the one thing I can appreciate here is because of because of Shigaraki's a lot more calm demeanor now. He's been able to. He seems to appreciate his allies now a lot more, and he's, in a lot of ways, he's becoming a different, I don't want to say a completely different person, but he is growing, and he is becoming a slightly different person than basically how he was introduced. Because in the past, as we've seen, he's always been a very introverted character, and he's always done things out of instinct, or basically, or just out of or just as a reaction. Everything he's done has been reactionary, but but by him kind of opening, being more clear-minded in this case, it's allowed. You can see him genuinely open up and show concern for basically everyone around him, and I really like how this development how this development, it not only felt natural, but it's the thing about this development with Shigaraki is that it's blurred the line even more between heroes and villains, and because he isn't, and because Shigaraki has grown and he's not just being sarcastic, and because he's not just being sarcastic anymore about the whole about the whole thing about the whole thing about caring about people around him. This time, in this situation, he really is starting. He really does care now about the people who support him, and about his allies and the people who support him, and now to him, anyone. And because of that, he's willing to fight full throttle against anyone who harms the people he sees as an ally. And the even bigger thing to take away from Shigaraki's development is he seems to have refocused his anger less towards things that annoy him, and more towards those that would seek to harm the league itself, or just anyone who is a part of the league. So yeah, it's just great. It's great development on Shigaraki's part. He's becoming a much more well-rounded character. He's a much more well-rounded character, which I love. And I'm really and the big and even bigger than that is because of Shigaraki. Because of Shigaraki's even bigger than all that, however, is that because of Shigaraki's development, it's gonna when the time comes, in order for Horikoshi to kind of pit Izuku and Shigaraki against each other, it's really going to turn into one of those cases where pretty much both sides where both sides have legitimate reasons for just doing what they're doing. So it's going to conflict us a little bit on on which side to choose. Like it probably isn't going to be as big as conflicting as, like, say, like something out of One Piece or something, but with this development, I'd say he's definitely becoming on par with pretty much Izuku as a character. Hell, I'd say he's gonna be he's might be even better than Izuku at this point, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, Shigaraki, he's really grown now with this chapter. And the chapter ends with Twice confronting Destro in the tower, and if I did have anything against the chapter itself, is that the pacing didn't make it very clear if the Twice who confronted Destro was the real one or a clone. But I want to assume it's the former, because if that was a clone, I don't think he would even last very long in a prolonged fight. But with this setup, but either way, with this setup, I'm concerned that from Re-Destro, he definitely, I'm concerned he hasn't given up fully on trying to get Twice over to the side of the Liberation Army. Like, something tells me, like, obviously, like, something tells me he's got something, he's cooking up something in order to convince Twice to join. And I think it isn't just the fact that Giron has been taken hostage. I think he's got another ace up his sleeve in order to try and achieve that. Because we have to remember, this guy Re-Destro, he's proven time and again he's got plans within plans within plans within plans within those plans within those plans. It's like the French guy has no limit to how many plans he's basically got. So yeah. So that definitely something is going to go down. Although whether or not it has to do with him bringing Twice over to the Liberation Army, we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah. Also, before I forget, there were definitely more than a few times throughout the chapter where the panels focused on building on Spinner's conflicting feelings right now. Like, Spinner, he's just been very much he's just been kind of an onlooker very much. He hasn't done much. And I want to assume what's going on is that Horikoshi is now going to devote with just the little bit we got. I think Horikoshi is kind of nearing the point where he's going to start he's gonna give Spinner his moment now. Like he's gonna give Spinner that moment in order to say, yeah, this is me, this is who I am. I'm standing up. I'm a member of the League of Villains, which again I'm all for, because aside from Twice, he's at least number 2 on the list of people I'm interested to see development from in this arc, especially with how much, again, he's been fighting with himself lately. So I'd really like to see him come to a resolution with whatever's still bothering him. I just hope that whatever development Spinner gets, it doesn't involve him like activating some kind of hidden quirk. Otherwise, that might ruin his character a little bit for me. Because part of his charm is that he doesn't really have a quirk. He's just a good fighter. Unless, the only way I'd accept, like, if he activated some kind of quirk is if the quirk itself is part of his appearance. That's the only way I'd accept something like that. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Crunchyroll. Dead Knight of Enemy, signing off. Later, guys.